Good morning, everybody. J.R. Fisher here. It is Friday, the, I think, 17th of September. 2021 is almost gone. Can you believe that? We were locked up in 2020, and now 2021 is almost gone. It's just been flying by. Hey, guys, we've got a great session today. I'm going to be talking about your YouTube channel, but I also want to share a story with you about what happened with me last night. Let me get my volume off of my iPad here. I have my volume on. And what happened with me last night and how it grew out of something I did that I would have never done before. I would have never done this, but I did it last night and something happened, and I want to share that with you and how that can actually help your life. But anyhow, I want to welcome you today. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I see a lot of regulars popping in here. Please say hello to me. Please post in that chat section. You know, ask any questions you want, share any successes you have. Tell me what your weather is. I would just talk and participate. Anybody who comes to these knows I want you to participate. It means so much to me. Let's see, how's come your thumbnail photos always have a starboard list and never port list? I'm getting seasick. Loud and clear. James is funny, and you know what? You got to be a little bit intelligent to understand what he's saying, because he's a smart guy. Looking good there, brother. Rain here in Hot Springs. Okay. Paul is in Hot Springs, Arkansas. James, remind me where you're at. I think you're in Carolina, North Carolina or something like that, but I think you're from New York. And guys, remind us all where you're from. Participate. So important. And you can really participate by subscribing, being part of the Fisher family. Just click that button down there, turn it from red to gray. Don't forget, ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every single time I go live. I'm excited today. I'm going to tell you a story about what happened last night. Hey, you look Mitch in red. Who's Mitch? Who is Mitch? I don't know who Mitch is. Are you trying to say something else? Could that possibly be? Let me know in the chat section. All right, let me get another sip here real quick. This is my mug for today. I'm really excited today. I'm really happy today. And guys, if you haven't experienced a near-death situation, which I did in 2016, I had a 9-hour operation, and I didn't expect to come out of it. Of course, the doctors said I would, but I didn't expect to. And I will say my chest was cracked all the way down. It was, for me, life-changing. And you know, if you've had something like that in your life, it makes you think a little differently. So I do think a little bit differently. But let's get to this YouTube stuff here. I want to go over that. And then tomorrow I'm going to help you guys who have not started, who know some of this stuff, who went through some of this training you haven't started. Next, I'm going to tell you on your YouTube videos, make sure you put an end screen. End screens are so important, because on an end screen, it says to your viewer, hey, you're done with this, but you're not done. Okay. So you can put like videos in there. You can put like animations. You know, you can have some type of call to action, subscribe, answer a poll. You can even suggest a video, which I often do. I'll suggest the video that YouTube thinks they should suggest, because YouTube knows these people better than me. So I'll put that in there. You can select any of your videos. If you want to pick a particular video you want them to watch after that, you can do that. But you got to have an end screen, guys. If you want to keep the momentum going and you want to keep your channel going, you want to have an end screen. And the next thing I'm going to tell you about, which is number 2 on our list today, is video quality. You are not going to have the best videos you've ever had when you first start. Let's just get that out of the way. You're not going to have great videos when you first start, and that's okay. Okay, I'm giving you permission not to have great videos. Let's see here. Tyann Nelson says, hey there, what's going on, Tyann? Good to see you. I hope everything's going well in your neck of the woods. I hope everybody's healthy there. I know your kid was not feeling well, but hopefully is feeling better now. So video quality. This is one of the biggest excuses that people use in the beginning. They're like, well, I don't have the most expensive camera, so I can't shoot videos. Use your phone. Okay. If you've got a phone, you can shoot videos. That doesn't mean that on down the road, you don't want to try to make the video better and better and better and better. And as you make money, invest in your equipment, guys. Don't just take money out of your business. My business I take very little money out of it. I don't pay myself hardly anything. I try to invest it all in the business so that that business keeps growing and growing and growing. And then whatever money I take out of it hardly affects it. It really doesn't. I don't pay myself much money. I don't spend much money. The only thing I really spend money on, we've just built this house, which is really nice. I like to travel because travel to me is experiences. And that gets back to this video quality here. The better the quality of your video, especially if you're doing a traveling video or something like that, it really helps. Okay. When it comes to video quality, a lot of excuses pop up, tons of excuses about the budget. To simplify the dilemma, I recommend that you look at 3 different channels. Okay. And I'm going to give you these 3 channels now. I think they're really pretty good. The first one is video influencers. Let me put this in here. Check out the channel Video Influencers. Okay, so that's a really good one. Let's see, Tyann. Oh no, Tyann got a little bad news here. I think I need meds for sinus infection. Unfortunately, Kyra still has a runny nose. Oh, I'm sorry, she's not feeling good. This bug sucks. James says, I'm a wise ass New Yorker who's maroon. That's right, Savannah, Georgia. I keep forgetting you. We talked about the restaurant and everything. Watha is gray and gloomy. Oh no, well, we're sunny and bright here today. It looks really good. So what changes are you planning for the studio? I used to work for cardiac rehab for you Zipper Club guys. Yeah, I rehabbed pretty good. I am up to 156 push-ups. I work out 4 to 5 days a week, and that doesn't mean I'm in great shape, but I mean, I do okay. Other channel I want to mention to you guys, if you're trying to do better, and I want you to put this, I won't put this in here. Check out the channel Think Media. There you go. And really, in video influencers and Think Media are 2 of the same thing. And there's another one in here I want you to check out. Check out the channel Justin Brown Primal Video. Yeah, those are 3 good ones, okay? But you do want to strive to create good videos. And the one thing I will tell you is if you could shoot a 1080 HD video, try investing in a proper camera setup on down the road. It doesn't mean you got to wait. Okay, you could go ahead and start now, but try doing that and try to always have great video quality. Mine is not always perfect. Today, as I look on YouTube, because I can see myself on YouTube here, it looks like it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but you can see stuff. The lighting's okay. So all in all, I think it's viewable. The sound's okay. Next thing I want to talk about is video link. And tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I'm going to tell you how to put all this together. So what are you using for 2-camera shoot? By the way, do a little longer between switching. Was getting motion sick with the rapid changes. Okay, I'll tell my video editor that. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate the input. I will certainly do that. Matter of fact, watch this, Paul. Watch this, Paul. I'm going to go ahead and message him now because Paul just said that. Look, I do listen. I do listen. All right. Billy is my video editor. He is in the Philippines. Let's see here. Billy, we've had some complaints that there's too much switching between zoom in and zoom out, period. Make those periods a little longer, period. Plus, it's less work for you, period. How's that, Paul? I just sent him a message. I just sent him a message. So, you know, I really appreciate input like that because you're kind enough to actually give me critical input, and I do appreciate that. So you want to customize your video links for different target audiences. Excuse me. It's advisable to have a long video, and it enhances the criteria of the audience retention if it's worthwhile. Don't have a long video just to have a long video. Now, I will tell you, you can't do super short videos and make any money on YouTube. Not all the time. Every now and then you could do some shorts if you want. I think today's video and audio is spot on. Thank you so much, Paul. You're to goods. Thank you, Paul. Well, it's because you give me input. You know, that's what helps a lot is people actually giving me input because I do listen to you. But how you decide to do your video, seeks a longer length or shorter length, that's up to you. But be honest, there's no real secret recipe to video links. I will tell you that YouTube wants at least 8 minutes to be able to put ads in there. So if you want to generate income on ads, you're going to have to go over 8 minutes. That's why I normally go 10 to 12 minutes on my pre-recorded ones. Now this live one I'm doing right now, we're going to do about 30 minutes, and we only have about 20 minutes left. But I also want to share with you the story about last night too. We had this get together, and it was residents for our neighborhood here, and it was down at our clubhouse. And I want to tell you how I handled it and how I handled it differently. I want to get through this list first, but then I want to tell you what happened, which I think was pretty darn interesting. So now, once you decide on your video length, shorter or longer, to be honest, like I said, there is no perfect length. Okay, try doing different video lengths, see what your audience does, track in your analytics which video is performing well, the longer one, the shorter one. But remember, to get money on ads, you're going to have to go over 8 minutes. Above all, make sure your channel has videos of all different lengths and tailored specifically to different types of audience. Number 9, which is on my list of stuff I was writing down, but really you're number 3 today. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, so you're number 4 today. Have a consistent upload, guys. Be consistent. People need consistency. That's why our human brain works that way. We want consistency. We don't want things changing all the time. And Paul gave a good example of that. He said we zoomed in and out too much, and that was just too much. Okay, we don't want that much change. You want slower change, and I get it, and my video editor tries really hard, and I think he thinks that the more he does to a video, the better it is. And sometimes just subtle changes is all you need to do. At one point he had the music too loud, but overall he does a great job. But he needs feedback too, because when you're sitting there in the editing chair and you're doing this all day long, which he does with my videos, it gets hard without any feedback. And he wants to put a lot of effort into it, and I appreciate that he does that. But this consistency thing is so important, guys. Have a consistent schedule. Now, for the past couple of weeks, I've been live at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday and live at 10 a.m. on Saturday. And that's what I've been doing. You need to do that on your channel. You need to have a consistent upload. In other words, if you're going to do 3 videos a week, it's got to be on the same days. Okay, you can't do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday on one week, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the next week. You can't do that. You got to be consistent. Pick something that works. Okay, and then also consistency on a time schedule. Do it at the same time. Even when we upload videos, they're all uploaded at the same exact time. Paul says, I like Brian G. Johnson. I listen to him too. His are kind of in your face kind of stuff. They're a little bit different. They're a little quirky. He's a quirky guy. For video tips, he has a book geared towards video and is speaking at Vid Summit. Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him. He's a nice guy. He's one of the older guys like us, right? Think your video guy does excellent work overall. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. He really tries hard. He's been with me going on 2 years, I guess, just doing my videos. So I really appreciate Billy. Hello, Billy, if you're watching this video, and at some point you will. Imagine if you uploaded 7 videos every single day or once a week, and then you don't upload a single video for the next 5 months. This undoubtedly would drop your subscribers and audience engagement. Okay, you would lose people if you do this, even though you uploaded a lot of videos. Yet it isn't mandatory to upload a video every single day. Not everyone is going to be Gary Vee. You can't do what he does. I mean, he's all over the place. There's no way I could compete with him. I know it. But at the same time, as a creator, you should be willing and persistent to upload a video at least 2 or 3 times a week. That's what I think, 2 or 3 times a week. Some people get by with once a week. Some people even get by with once a month, but the average person will not be able to. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. That was what Benjamin Franklin said. You've got to plan this stuff, guys. You can't wing a YouTube channel. It can't happen. Hey, your video guy's doing a great job. I haven't noticed excessive zooming in and out. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. I think that's pretty good. Now, these are the ones that we upload during the week, the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I want to tell you this little get together we had last night. I want to share that at the end. I want to make sure we have enough time. I think we do so far. Now, the next thing I want to tell you, which I guess is number 5 on our list today, is really think about your first 15 seconds. Your first 15 seconds of your video is nothing but a spectacular retention for viewers. Okay, if you don't do something in the first 15 seconds, if you don't tell them something that they're going to want to hear or stay for, you're going to lose them. And if you lose them in the first 15 seconds, you'll never have completions of your videos. Okay, so it's really, really important. And I like to actually tell them in the first 15 seconds what's going to happen in the video. What are they going to get in the video? Because if it's not something they want, I don't want them to hang around and get bored. If it is something that they want, then I want them to know about it. Okay, so they do stick around. So that first 15 seconds, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be telling them what's going to happen. We're going to define whether your audience will engage or not. Okay, we're going to define whether they're going to watch to the end. Thus, you want to make sure the first 15 seconds of your video is nothing but spectacular. Okay, and you can do that really with enthusiasm and with information. You can retain viewers by giving a video gist or a showcase of your final outcome. This will make people watch the entire video. So I want to give you some guidelines to this. Okay, a creative video intro should be less than six seconds. If you're going to do this intro, we just did another video intro and I kind of like it, and we're going to start using it. And I don't think he's put it on any of the new videos yet, but we just redid one of those. Introduce yourself if you want. I think I was doing that too much, but if you're new, you're going to want to introduce yourself and let people know what you've done. We sell survival food products. I sell courses online. I speak at events. I do consulting. I do a lot of different things. And sometimes I need to let people know that so that they know that I'm worth listening to. Okay, if what I've got to say has any value, hopefully it does to you, and it does only if you apply it. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow too, which is really important. You see, I have a message here. Okay, they actually censored you, Paul, because one word you put in there, but I'll look at it. I think the difference between you and Gary V is that your videos give practical advice in learning mode. Gary R seems angry and I can't say the word, the same thing. Yes, he does. He's mad if you don't work as hard as him, and that's not for everybody. Working that level and neglecting the rest of your life is not good for everybody. Not that it's not great for him, it's just for him. If you haven't listened to Gary V, you'll see what I'm saying. He's also known as the F guy because every other word is the F word. I believe that what I do could be perfect for your life, or it may be too much, or it may be too little. I don't dictate what you should do with your life and your time, but I want you to take from me what does work for you and apply that, and the stuff that doesn't work for you, leave it aside. Okay, leave it aside. The other thing is, you know, an answer to how your video is going to help the video or the viewer. Really important. Explain an existing problem and how the video is going to actually fix that problem for you. If your video is a vlog, okay, then you can show top glimpses of your video in the first 15 seconds of what they're going to see later on in the video. If you're, let's say it's a travel video, maybe some of the places you saw or somebody you talked to or something crazy that happened. Maybe if it's a cooking video, you show the final product in the beginning before you actually cook it. You want to announce if you got any giveaways, any surprises, anything. I give away a course, and I have another course coming out that I'm going to be doing a giveaway one. I think you're going to like it. Personalize the video by using the word you in the video. And if you notice, I say you guys a lot, or I say you a lot, because I'm talking to one person. Now, I understand there's more than one person here, and there's going to be more than one person watching this video. However, I want you to understand that I care about you as an individual. I don't think of you guys as a group. I think of you as an individual. Personalize your video by using the word you. The user should be able to connect with you. Make sure everything you speak is genuinely out of the willingness to help viewers flourish. Okay, it shouldn't be to get you stuff. It should be to get them something. And I can't remember who said it, but I think it was Zig Ziglar. If you help enough people get what they want, you will most certainly always get what you want. You've got to help people out. You are a servant of other people if you're going to be on social media. Okay, you should be helping them. To win viewers' attention and engagement in an initial 15 seconds, and for the rest of the video, you need to craft valuable and ethical hooks. Okay, now I have a valuable and ethical hook, and it's about what happened last night at that social get-together, and I'm getting ready to tell you about it. Can you sample music for an intro? Want to use Tom Petty, Running Down a Dream, was thinking 16 to 18 seconds. Man, I don't use any copyrighted music, Paul. I tell you, YouTube has gotten so strict on that. They can demonetize you easily. So I don't use any copywritten music. I do use the music from not YouTube, TubeBuddy. I have a link for TubeBuddy down there. If you sign up for TubeBuddy, you get some free music and you can use that. It's on another site, and I can't remember the name of the site, but you'll see it. It's one of your assets in TubeBuddy. The other one I use is Video Blocks, and I pay for Video Blocks, but within Video Blocks, there's a music section, there's a sound effect section, and I use that a lot. So that's something I use. Yeah, that was what Size Ziglar said. It was Zig's mantra. And yeah, it is too, James. And isn't it true? I mean, you've got a few years on you. I've got a few years on me. If you were to have told me that, you know, that I got to go around and help other people to get what I want, you know, when I was 25, I would have said, you're insane. I want what I want. I want it all for me. And I've changed over the years. I have changed a lot. Let me get a sip here real quick. As a matter of fact, let me share a little side story with you. I had a friend call me the other day, and I say he's a friend. I met him when I was 14 or 15, and I haven't seen him since I was 18. Over the years, we've talked a little bit. We went to high school together. Myself and him and a group of other people got into a lot of trouble. We went to we lived in a very low-end neighborhood. Everybody was getting arrested. Everybody was dealing in drugs and crime and all that. I was no better than any of them, so I will share that with you. But I hadn't seen him since I was 18, and lo and behold, he has a lake cabin house, and he's done very well for himself. He owns a bunch of businesses now, multi-millionaire, and he wants to get together for dinner. So tomorrow night, I'm going to go see Pat. I haven't seen Pat since we were 18 years old. But during that, it was so weird, between that age of 14, 15, and 18, we all became so close. My other friend in that period of time lives in Memphis, and he became a multimillionaire. He's done very, very well. I went to his wedding in Vegas a few years ago, and we talk usually weekly, if not monthly, for all these years. And that is for, what is that, 40 some odd years. We've all known each other, so it's kind of cool. But anyhow, I'm going to go see him. Yes, it does, Paul. Let's see here. For emails, does Kartra allow you to personalize the emails with the first name? Yes. Matter of fact, Paul, you can personalize by first name, email address, amount of money they spent, products they bought, all kinds of different things. I mean, it really is pretty phenomenal. Kartra will let you do that, and you can personalize all kinds of stuff in there. Don't overdo it. Don't put their name in there like 10 times, because then it's obvious. But I oftentimes, when you get an email from me, it'll say, hey, and then it'll have your first name. Now, if you don't have the first name in the system, and I'm a little off track from YouTube, but I just want to hit this point here, it won't put anything there. So it's not like, you know, it messes you up if you don't have their first name. It just won't put anything there. So anyhow, you have that. Viewers continually find your videos interesting. They're more likely to tell their friends about it, and hence your fan base is going to grow. I watch David Goggins probably every day. He does a video. He normally does like a 1-minute video, but I've watched tons of other videos he does. And I tell everybody about David Goggins. I think he's an awesome guy. I am not David Goggins. David Goggins gets down and does 2,000 push-ups when he does them. I get down and do 156 because that's for me. You know, a 2,000 is not for me. I don't have 5 to 6 hours a day to work out, and I don't care to. You know, at my age, I just don't care to. That's his shtick, is that, you know, he's like one of the toughest guys on the planet. So that's what he has to do. I don't have to do that. Next thing I'm going to tell you is really important, guys, is your upload defaults. You may not know this exists, but there's a section in your videos where you have upload defaults. It's in your settings, so that every time you upload a video, all of these defaulted things, these links, these descriptions, whatever, can be on every single video. And I use it because I have, let's say, affiliate links to YouTube and that type of stuff, or maybe links to other videos I want people to see. So I put them in there permanently, so that every time I upload a video, those are automatically there. And then above that, we'll put the description. And it saves you a ton of time, guys. So look for your upload defaults. You can find an area on YouTube. Matter of fact, maybe I'll do a video on doing upload defaults. That would be a good video for you guys to see. I'll do one on that. Tyann says, one thing I am wrapping my mind around is I don't need to be a super old-time genius at this stuff. No, you don't. You just need to know a little bit more than the person that's watching. That's it. You don't have to be an expert. Just document my learning experience as I go. Yes, people love that. People love watching somebody else learn. That's a very cool thing and very smart thing to do. And Tyann, I want you to get started. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, about how you can get started, okay? So, and on this upload defaults, guys, all you got to do is go to your creator studio, select the channel you want, and then click on upload defaults. It's really that simple. And then you make sure that, you know, you do all your descriptions, your tags, your category, your comment ratings, video language, all that kind of stuff. You can set all of that in there. When video descriptions, they're so crucial, okay, for your videos SEO, but mentioning the same websites or social media details every single time can be tedious. So that's why we use these upload defaults. That's why it's really important. You just go to your creator studio channel, upload defaults, and you're going to be right there. Sounds good. Once my voice is back, we'll be starting. Hey, start before your voice is back. And then you can say, hey, my voice is kind of raspy, but I wanted to get started and I didn't want to wait because JR is pushing me to get started. Maybe you could do that. Okay, just get started. Because what happens is, because your voice isn't perfect right now, you're saying, well, hey, I can't do anything right now because my voice is not perfect. It doesn't matter. I have done videos when I had a sore throat. I've done videos when I was hoarse, and people appreciate that. They're like, look, he's still doing his stuff. He's still doing what he says he's going to do. So do it. Just go do it. Last thing I want to tell you about today is playlist. And then I want to share that story with you about the meeting we had at the community center. Take action, revise later. Yes, 100%. Video playlist. Playlists are super important, guys. Let me explain how this works. You actually set up like this folder and you call it something. So it could be videos on SEO. And every time you do a video that is related to SEO, you throw it in this playlist, okay? So it's out there on its own and it's on this playlist. Now what happens is that generates 2 URLs instead of just one. So you have double the chances of somebody watching that video. Now here's the cool hack. That video that is talking about SEO that may be talking about building a website too, you could have another playlist that is how to build websites and throw it in that playlist too. It could be in two or 3 or 4 playlists. And every time you do that, you generate another URL, which generates more SEO for that video. So you see how you can take one video and you can have it in several different places and get more views for your channel. It's really pretty cool. So last night, we had this get together and it was kind of funny because I met one of my neighbors outside of the community center. We have these food trucks that show up and we were getting some food at a food truck. My wife and I were there and he's actually my next door neighbor and he's a retired FBI agent. So that's who I have living next door to me, but he's a super nice guy. And he said, are you going to go to the social tonight? You know, you get a couple drinks. And I had totally forgotten about it. I guess I signed up for it. You know, a couple months ago, they sent me an email or something. And if you sign up, you get a couple drinks, a couple beers or glasses of wine or something like that. And they did have the worst wine and beer I've ever seen. But anyhow, so I said, you know, we're thinking about that. So I got back to the house. My wife and I are talking about it. And I said, you know, we should go over to that social. You know, we moved to the neighborhood a couple months ago. We haven't really met that many people. We should probably go over there. And she's like, well, I don't look that good. I don't have my hair done. I don't have my makeup done. I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's just go over there. Now, number one, when I was younger, teenage, maybe early 20s, I was so self-conscious about messing up, about looking bad, about you know, being embarrassed, about somebody making fun of me, that I would avoid any chance of those things happening. The way I would avoid it, number one way, is just don't go to stuff like that. I mean, if you don't go to stuff like that, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to get uptight. You don't have to, you know, be afraid of what's going to happen. Okay, so that was the first thing I would do it. And then if I was forced to go to something like that, I would just go stand in the corner somewhere and have my drink and wait 2 or 3 hours or however long it was, and then get the heck out of there and not talk to anybody. Okay, that's what I would do. So I've changed over the years. I've changed a lot. And it's funny, and some of you guys on here who've got a few years on you will know, as you get older, you realize how little importance it is what people think of you, how little the importance is of what people feel about you. And when you can drop that and you can go, you know what, I'm just going to relax and enjoy myself, you can enjoy yourself a whole lot more. So when we got there, we are a couple, myself and my wife, and everybody was broken off into different groups everywhere. And you know, there was groups of 4 people, there were groups of 3 people, there were just couples that were together, there were single people together. And I looked around the room and I said, everybody's here to meet everybody, but they're all broken up. They're all broken up. They're all spread out everywhere. So I saw a couple that was way off in a corner. They were leaning on a railing. husband and wife, it looked like. They looked younger, maybe in their 20s. And they looked like they were nervous. I mean, they had like one arm crossing their body and their drink like this, and they were kind of looking down. You could tell they were the person I was when I was in my 20s or teens. I was scared. Okay. They were scared. So I went right up to them and I said, hey, great to meet you guys. We're here to socialize. So that's what we should probably do. What's your name and what's your name? I'm JR. This is Jessica. And they immediately, you could see the pressure come off them. They're like, oh, hey, you know, this is Keith and this is Myrna. And they started to tell us about their lives and what was going on. And we had a little interaction going. There was 4 of us there. And then we saw another couple, and I waved to them and I went like this and had them come over, and they came up, and it was Hector and his wife. And then we all started talking. So now there's like 6 of us. And about that time, that neighbor I just told you about, that FBI agent guy, he walked up. He goes, what's going on, JR? Because I had been talking to him. I made it a point to talk to him, and he's made it a point to talk to me. We're about the same age. And now we've got, what, 2, 4, 6, 7 people together. And then off in a distance, I saw a young couple, looked like a nice young couple, but they were all alone. They had been alone for about a half hour just talking to each other. Now I know, let me get my screen here back up. I know that they came there to meet people. You know why I know that? Because it was a social gathering, but they weren't socializing because they were at that stage I was when I was in my 20s, and I worried about everything. So I walked over to them and I said, hey, I'm JR. We've got a group of people here. Nobody knows anybody. And I wanted to invite you guys over because you're probably here to meet people too, and, you know, meet in the neighborhood. And they were like, oh my gosh, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. And then they came over to our group. So now we've got one of the largest groups of the entire place. And there's some groups with 3 people and 4 people and 2 people, but we had like 8, 9, 10 people together now. And I can't do the math, but we had some other people come up too. The biggest group. And where did that come from? That come from a little bit of action. That came from me walking up to one couple, me walking up to another couple, me having already associated with a neighbor. All of these little efforts in life, guys, matter so much. Now, you may say to me, what did you get out of that? Well, I got out of it the satisfaction of bringing some people together. That was really, really cool. I don't want you to always think that if you do stuff, you should get something out of it. I want you to think that you should. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about this and how to get your YouTube channel started. But I want to share with you these things because these are going to help you guys. Let's see, James Green, how'd you go from wallflower to super sales manager trainer nationwide? You know, James, that's a long story, but I'll give you the short of it. I was a used car manager at a car dealership, and the general sales manager was going to retire. Now, the general sales manager did all the sales meetings. And I always stood off to the corner because I didn't want to speak in front of anybody. Okay. One-on-one, I could talk with the salespeople and do all that, but I didn't want to talk to anybody. Now he came to me and he says, hey, I'm leaving and I think you'd be perfect to take my job at this dealership and run the dealership. And I was like, oh my God, that would be great. And then it hit me. Oh my God, I have to do the sales meeting. I have to stand up in front of 25, 30, 40, 50 salespeople and do a meeting. And I got to do this every day. I can't do that. So I went home and I pondered this and I thought to myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do my entire life? I mean, even in high school, I wouldn't stand up and talk. I wouldn't do it. I was too shy to do it. I avoided that. But I knew that on the other side of being able to talk in front of all these people was this great job where I'd make all this money. And I rationalized with myself. I said, well, you've got to get good at talking in front of people. So I looked around and back then you had to like read books and stuff. Okay. We didn't have the internet or any of that. And I found a group called Toastmasters International. And Toastmasters International is where you go into a room and you talk in front of a group of people where everybody's trying to learn how to talk and they grade you. And every time you say or ah or whatever, they have these clickers and they click it. Every time you screw up, they go click, click, and you hear the whole room go click, click. Every time you screw up. So I would go to this meeting at 6 o'clock in the morning and I would practice speaking in front of people. And I did this every single day up until the time that manager retired and gave me his job. And at that point, I was ready to talk in front of these salespeople. I had never done it before. And I started talking in front of these salespeople and I started really studying how to help people achieve their goals, how to get people better at selling, all the things that would help these salespeople out. And I got better and better and better at it. And out of that grew my own company, where I actually, in this dealership we were #1 in the state of California. We were a Chrysler dealership, and #3 in the United States. We literally sold thousands of cars and thousands of them. And I did very well there. And I broke off and I started my own training company. And I ended up, for the next 8 or 9 years, I traveled around the United States and I trained most of the top dealerships in America, from the Penske groups to, well, I mean, just tons of them. I don't want to list them all, but a lot of car dealerships in the nation, most of the top dealerships. And I made a lot of money doing it. And there's another story as to why I quit doing that. But that one defining moment of I have to speak in front of people turned into an entire new career for me. So what I would tell you is, these things that you fear, these things that you're scared of, these things that you've wanted to do your whole life, but you haven't, I want you to do them. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to talk about how you can put this stuff into place. I can't believe how long Toastmasters has been around. The other thing good about a group like that is you're meeting go-getters. Well, some are scared to death, just like I was. At any event I attend, my mind, these strangers are visiting my home, and I'm a host, and I focus on spotlight on the other person because I'm a fan and social guy. That's an awesome way to look at it, James. It really is. My screen keeps going out. Hang on a second here. And I'm going a little bit over. I apologize, guys, but we're on a good roll here. When starting a YouTube channel, what do you think your top 5 challenges were in getting started? That's a great question, Paul, and I'm going to cover it tomorrow. I want to cover it. I hate to leave you hanging, but I'm going over a little bit today, and that's part of what I want to talk about tomorrow. Those challenges to getting your YouTube channel started, and the things that keep you from starting your YouTube channel. So I am going to cover all that tomorrow. Guys, you have been amazing today. You really have. You've asked great questions. You've participated. Hopefully you've subscribed. If you haven't done so, do that. Don't forget, ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or I upload a video. But I really appreciate it. If you would, everybody, please give me a thumbs up. If you're live, give me a thumbs up. If you're not live, this applies to you too. I need a thumbs up. I need a subscription. I need the bell ring. I need you to turn on notifications. Hey, James just said he got notified twice when I was going live. That's what you'll get. If you don't turn on all notifications, you subscribing doesn't do much good outside of the fact that you can find me in your feed, but you won't be notified when I do a live video. Those are two separate things. You got to understand that. Peace and blessings always, everyone. Hey, you're setting another hook. I am setting another hook, aren't I? James is really smart. James understands how this stuff works, but it's important, and it feeds a person's brain in need for more and more knowledge. So I do want to set hooks if I need to do that. We call it opening another loop, but you can say setting a hook. Either way you want to do it, same thing. Guys, I really appreciate you being here. I love each and every one of you. I enjoy spending time with you every day. Today is Friday. What today is the day that we go out to lunch. We have a cool place we're going to today. We try to hit really interesting, different places. Sometimes they're high end, sometimes they're low end, but they're all really different and kind of interesting. And today I think you're really going to like what you see. So if you're not friends of mine on Facebook, join me on Facebook. That's where I post all the pictures of where we eat at. And this place is going to be really cool. We call it Friday lunch. So you'll see the pictures on that. Feel free to friend me on Facebook. Feel free to look at the pictures. I'll have a bunch of pictures of the food, what we're eating, the place we're going to. Entirely different from making money online, just something we like to do. And Paul, I have not forgot the cooking channel. It's going to happen. Looking forward to your lunch video. Yes, I will have one for you shortly. We're heading there soon. What time is it here now? 9:38. We're probably going to have lunch around 11:30, 12, something like that. We're going to have a good one. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Invite your friends to the channel. Invite them to watch these videos, to subscribe to the channel. We're growing, not as fast as I want. It's never as fast as I want, but we're growing, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for showing up today. Let me clear my screen here so I can get to everything I need to. I got to get back to StreamYard here. You guys have been awesome, as you always are. Don't forget, even if you're not live, you can still, and I only see one thumbs up like there, guys. Please hit that thumbs up. That's really important. I know if you did it, you got to do it on every video. Just because you do it on one video doesn't mean you don't do it on the other videos. Every video I do, hit that thumbs up if you would. I would really, really appreciate it. Helps me out a lot, helps distribution of this video. Thanks so much for showing up, guys. I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go to lunch pretty soon. Talk to you guys real soon.